How are you?
Hi.
Hello, good to meet you, Meg.
So good to meet y'all. I just want to start off by saying, wow, this is such an incredible, inspiring, and important film about, young female adolescence, which is rarely, I think, depicted in such a raw and authentic way as y'all have done. So I just thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah. I was super inspired by the girls' resilience, despite their circumstances and their generational trauma, and everything they've endured. Why was it important for you to showcase and capture their undeniable strength through it all?
I mean, I think the story kind of goes hand in hand. They are so strong and their strength is so incredible to us that it was just as much a part of our interest and curiosity in the story as any other part. So to us, like, you couldn't make a movie about Autumn without showing how strong she is. So
And also, I think, in the edit, we used strength as like a really important word for us in how we structured it. We had a question that we put above our computers of, what's the question?
how do we make ourselves strong?
How do we make ourselves strong? And, a lot of the world they're from, a lot of the world where, so many people are from, strength is something that's also used in a way to block things out and to stay so strong that you're not letting yourself actually feel how you feel. You're becoming hard and cold. And, I think we've seen each of them go through different phases of how their relationship to strength and their relationship to vulnerability. And, that's something that we want people to talk about. We want people to see, even in your own life, like at the end of the film, Alani kind of says, like, I realized that keeping things in doesn't really help me. And it, I guess this is a spoiler, but, but that, yeah, I mean, she like realized that like expressing herself is kind of the road to healing and processing what she's been through.
Yeah, and even Alani's mother, I think she's still figuring out what it means to be strong and the vulnerability of, or exploring this idea of weakness as a strength or something negative. And it just got me thinking completely. I mean, like I'm in my, 30s, and I was reflecting on, how I sort of feel about strength. And it was just incredible to see these young girls kind of defy all their, everything that's put in front of them and to keep questioning it too. I think that's what was super inspiring. The fact that they keep questioning, and they don't really accept. They sort of move through, but they question, which I thought was really inspiring. What I found so heartbreaking, though, is their fear of saying no. And, so I want to know why, how Cusp explores this reality of the acceptance, I would say, of sexual assault still so prevalent in the US.
Yeah, I mean, do you want
to? Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the things we wanted to do was ground that kind of massive story in like three really incredible girls and sort of look at the real feeling of how it feels to be in their town, to go to a party, to be a teenage girl in this place.
The daily moments that like the nightly moments that you go through that, it's not, I think these topics seem really big, but once you're like on a day-to-day level, they manifest in different ways.
Oh yeah, no, just like, I think using perspective to encourage people to see themselves, because Parker always said, like, the more specific you get, the more you can actually relate to someone, because you start to see bits of themselves in you and can really see yourself in their story.
Yeah, and it was just so heartbreaking because, with social media so prevalent in today's world, we kind of feel like there's so much work that's been done, right? When it comes to sexual assault awareness. And then you watch this film and you're like, no, that is just one side of the story. It's still going on, and it's still a battle that young women are facing across the United States every day. And it's heartbreaking, but it's also what's so beautiful about your film is the tears come with laughter and it comes with joy because you take us on this beautiful ride. And at the end of the day, I want to embrace these women. I want to hug them and hold them. But at the same time, I have this really heartwarming feeling that they're going to be okay because they're so resilient. I would just love to know what making Cusp has taught you most about yourselves.
That's a great question.
It's my favorite question to ask.
I mean, there's so much. Like, we have grown so much in the making of this film. These girls have changed our lives in so many ways. You know, we've learned so much from them about how they, you know, just as you said, like, it makes you kind of think back to your own experience, but also even today of how, like, I'm used to dealing with things, how I don't deal with emotions, how I do, you know. I think like having really honest conversations with them has taught me so much about like we said, strength, but like how we let ourselves be vulnerable and also how we avoid that. And I guess I've just learned a lot about that. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think sometimes, you know, we grow up and we feel like we're leaving a teenager behind, you know, like, oh, that's the past
Version
me
of myself.
But in a lot of ways, I think as a culture, we don't encourage like real healing or real understanding of what we're all accepting and learning as teenagers. And I think we definitely
spend the rest of our lives dealing with what happened back then. You know?
And it gets complex, but I think it really held up a mirror to our own experiences. And then we're hoping to hold up a mirror to every viewer and have them go through the same experience of like, oh, wow, like what was I okay with, or what did I experience as a teen? And how does that shape who I am today and shape us all collectively?
Exactly. And it's so true, especially when it comes to sexuality. And I think that what we see in this film too, is that as young women, we're objectified before we even understand our own bodies.
Absolutely. That's something.
It's like,
like it's before you're ready to do it, it happens onto you.
Or before you have a language for it, or before you even can express how you're feeling, it happens to you. And I think we see that a lot with Brittany's, you know, kind of journey. And I think that it's important to reflect. Like you said, we put these teenage years behind us, but it's important to reflect as adults to say, well, why do I make the choices I make today? And it stems from this idea that like of choice when we were younger, and this idea of kind of not having a choice or discovering what it even means to have a choice. It's just such a beautiful film. And my last question for y'all is, I think the reason why I am so hopeful at the end of this is the power of female friendships that is also beautifully showcased in this film. Can you just talk about how you also wanted to show strength? You know, it's cheesy to say, but how women stronger together.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's something that's like been so important to us, and really, I mean, it definitely stemmed from these girls and their relationships with each other. And, you know, we've been there on camera and off. We've been there through so many times with them where they really lean on each other to help them go through something, to get advice. You know, a lot of them have been through so much that they communicate like almost with no words, and they'll just like put their hand on someone's back or curl, like, you know, just lounge on each other's bodies and just like lie together. And it's been really amazing to see like how they're there for each other, and when sometimes it feels like no one else is. And I think that it's really sweet, and it makes you feel safe when you know, can have people that you can lean on like that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this beautiful film. It's truly just stunning and important. And I can't wait for everyone to see it who hasn't seen it in the festival circuit. So congratulations again. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. This was so great.
Yeah.